All right, suppose we wanted to adjust the widths of our fillets and our chamfers. Well, that's easily done. If I jump over to the Mesh Fusion item, go down to the properties, and where it says strip width absolute, we can adjust that size there. Remember, when we created this, we set the strip widths at 1 centimeter, so that was the default. So if I change this to 2, you can see immediately that those chamfers and fillets are widened. So I can create a larger size just by, oops, that was the length, I meant the width. Right down there, you can see. Now you want to be careful with this. So if you have widths that are so wide that they interfere or intersect with one another, you risk breaking the model or the function of the Mesh Fusion item. All right, so you want to be sure, and that is probably the number one reason, or close to it, that people get fails on the Mesh Fusion object generation. So just be aware of that the strip widths, you have to be careful. Now you can intersect them. I mean, they can intersect. So if I'm going to take this object and I move this in to where the two items here intersect, you'll see that it does do a pretty decent job of blending one fillet into a chamfer here, as you can see down here. All right, so it's not that you can't intersect the two, it's how they intersect which is important. It's right there, it kind of breaks down, but if I bring it out a little bit, it works. So now what if I wanted each of these to be its own individual size? Well, we could do that as well. So I'll go down here and go down to where it says update strip items, and what it's going to do is it's going to generate a little kind of a path along each one of these chamfers and fillets to allow me to select it individually and adjust it. So if I am in item mode and I mouse over, that you can see a little curve kind of highlights. So I'm going to select that. That's going to bring up a little panel that's going to have all these controls to let me adjust that fillet. So the one I usually use is this guy right here, because it's a combination of these two here, which is a kind of a head-up display or a channel haul here that allows me to do the strip width and the strip profile. Now the width doesn't have a slider to it, so you can either input the number here, or you can click on the word itself and drag your mouse left and right to increase or decrease the width of that fillet. And the profile is how flat or curved that fillet is. So I'm going to look at it on edge here, and profile at 100% will be an average curve between the two. But if I bring this up here to 200%, it really sharpens that profile. Or bring it to here and you get pretty much a flat profile between the two intersecting objects. Same is true with this one. If I go to here now, sometimes this the little trim object can get in the way, so a lot of times I'll wind up just hiding those, and then I'll select that, bring up that panel, okay, bring up the channel haul there, and move it over here. And let's see, let's bring up the width. I want to be careful, because if I intersect too much with the other one, you see it'll break down. So there are some limitations, so you got to be aware of. But I can tighten that if I want to, and just adjust its profile and its width. And yeah, so that's how you can adjust individual intersections of fillets and chamfers.